Welcome to another episode of The Mule Show.
It's the Mule Show.
Today, we're going to be doing the classic off-season thing that I see a lot of people doing, and it's ranking NBA quote graphics. And of course, as always, we're going to do it tier list style. I'll try to give some context to it. I don't know all of them, but we got S to F. Let's just get into it. First up, we got, I owe you an apology. I wasn't really familiar with your game. This is obviously an all-time classic. I mean, this is just a quotable, very quotable. This is another way of ranking them is if they're quotable. If you can take this and use it for a lot of situations. I say this all the time with my friends. I'm sure people can relate. I'm going to reserve the right to move them around. I'm going to put it in A for now. This could be an S though. We'll see because I can't really remember the other quotes here, but I think this is a good A to start. Maybe it'll be an S. All right, next up we got, age ain't nothing but a number. And this was said by 37-year-old Karl Malone after scoring 50 points. I mean, for obvious reasons. It's just like the worst possible person to say this. For those who don't know, Karl Malone has done some insane stuff with underage people. We'll just put it that way. In terms of how funny it is, it's hilarious. Like, it just is. However, I feel like I have to like consider morals here. Plus, it's definitely not quotable. It's funny, but it's not quotable. So we'll put it in F. Also, why are D and C switched? Hold up, let me fix this. Yeah, I don't know how that happened, but low key, I might put this in. Actually, we're not going to get another chance to probably get an F because there's just all of them are funny. So if there is an F, it's this one. Oh my gosh. Never mind. Next up, we got these. So I'm just going to bleep that whole thing. And did I say it? Oh, I guess we'll never. I didn't, but I guess we'll never know. Yeah, again, just not quotable. It is hilarious. I would argue that this is just like the Karl Malone one, except it's funnier because KG didn't actually like do anything. So I think this is a fair D. I think that's fair because it's crazy. It's like a ridiculous thing. It's funny, definitely not quotable, but it's not Karl Malone. Yeah. Next up, we got Cam Thomas with Ain't Shit Funny. Now, for some reason, this one has always just resonated with me. Cam Thomas just as like a person. I feel like his magnum opus was this quote graphic. Obviously, he had those like 40-point games and whatnot. He's like an electric player. He's not currently in the league because of his play style. However, I love this quote. This quote, ain't shit funny. It's such a funny way to like, because it doesn't even really make sense as a sentence, but it was so basically the context is they asked him like, oh, why do you never smile? And he just said, ain't shit funny. I like this one a lot. I'm biased towards this one for some reason. I'm going A. I don't know why. I'm not like a Cam Thomas guy. This just hits me. I don't know why. All right, next up we got The Lights Were Brighter Than I Expected by Jared Allen. This is just another all-time quotable one. I would argue this one's more quotable than I wasn't really familiar with your game. I'm gonna put this one in S because like the Shaq one. Okay, you know what? No. Shaq got to be up here too. I think that's fair. I knew I would move it up eventually. I just was like, I don't know, maybe there will be like better ones, but those two are both all-time great. Like, I'm going to quote this. Here's a great example. If you're sitting there, your friend goes up to a girl and approaches them, comes back, gets the girl's like Instagram, was super smooth operator. You're going to be like, so I wasn't really familiar with your game. Then in another life, maybe he goes out, he talks to that girl, he's about to go talk to her, and then just like completely fumbles, comes back and goes, the lights were brighter than I expected. Both just great uses of it, even outside of basketball. So that's why those are S tier. All right, next up, we got Rudy Gobert saying, tonight I feel like I lost my virginity after he hit his first career three-pointer. So this one I had to look up if it was real. Apparently it is. Apparently he said it. I think he said it in a different language, but he said like this exact thing in French, I think. So that's just insane. It's funny, but I think this is another D tier one because it's funny. It's not like, actually, you know what? I might go C because it's equally funny as these, but it's in less bad taste. You know what I mean? Like, it's just kind of a weird way of saying something. But again, it's not like, well, I guess you could say this is like a quotable phrase, but nobody would say this and think Rudy Gobert. It's just funny he said this when referring to that something to do with the NBA. So that's my rationale for a C. All right, next up we got, I'm tired of getting a taste of him. I want the whole load. What do you mean, dude? I don't know. There are a couple of them that are like this where it's just like, what could this possibly mean? Like you know what he means, but like you could have said this in such a better way. I can't justify this. This might go in D because it's less funny and more just like what? Like the other, yeah, okay. I don't have to rationalize this one as much. Definitely not quotable. If you're quoting this, I don't know. It's fine. All right, next up we got Wemby. It's not as big as I expected. I have no idea what the context of this is. Whatever he's talking about, it's just funny that this became like a quote graphic. Like, oh yeah, let's all quote this. I'm gonna go D because it's not quite as funny as the other ones. Like the Rudy Gobert one, I think is hilarious. I think that's just a really weird way of putting something, like an accomplishment. And so I don't know. Next up we got Who the Hell Want Me? So this was Markieff Morris when he got traded to the Lakers. And so apparently when he found out he got traded, he was like, who the hell want me? And so he was basically like salary filler in that trade for Luka to the Lakers. So obviously he didn't get traded because the Lakers particularly wanted him, you know? I mean, it's just because he was like at the end of his career, you know, nothing against him. This is a great one. It's quotable, it's funny, but it's not like insane. So I think B is a good, like, you know, like who the hell want me? I don't know if that's quite quotable. Like it's a quotable phrase. I don't know if it's memorable enough for me to be like, I'm going to use that in like a sentence with my friends or something. You know what I mean? 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 All right, next up we got he's broke and unemployed. And apparently he said this on Twitter to Bull World, like a Twitter user. Can't lie, I don't know like the full context of this. So was he trolling like his own fan account? Because Bull World sounds like a fan account. So why would you be like beefing with your own fan account? It just makes no sense. This I think comfortably falls in B territory. Same as Markieff Morris, where it's like saying he's broke and unemployed. People say that, but I don't think they think of Bull. But it is funny. It is like it's a little bit of a chuckle. All right, next up we got I Got One More in Me. This was Vince Carter going into his 22nd NBA season, and I have so much respect for it. I quote this all the time. We're on Fortnite or some game, and it's our Rocket League, and we're playing like a game, and it's like, oh yeah, let's go to bed. And they're like, oh, go one more. And you hit them with the, like, you think for a little bit, and you're like, I got one more in me. Bro, it's just aura. The funny thing is he was just completely washed at this point, but this is either an A or an S. I probably quote this one the most. I quote this more than the Shaq one, and because these ones are very situational. You know what? I'm going to go back. I'm going to put Shaq back in A tier. I think that the Vince Carter one and the Jared Allen one are both just better, more quotable ones. I'm sorry I wasn't familiar with your game is funny. That one's like you're forcing it a little bit too much if you're like, I'm sorry, I wasn't really familiar with your game. The other two are just like super easy to quote, I guess. All right, next up we got The Unexamined Life is Not Worth Living. Cool Mule after dropping 82 on the Kings. So I can actually tell you the story a little bit because, you know, this was me. So I was playing the Kings, my least favorite team in the world. We were just absolutely destroying them, and so I was just getting buckets just for fun at that point. And I looked up at my stats because I hadn't really even been paying attention, and I was like, wait a second, I got 81 points, and I was fouled, and I was at the free throw line. So I made the first. I took a long, hard stare. I was like, what should I do? And I thought about Bam, and I was like, I gotta respect Bam. So obviously I missed the free throw. And yeah, I'm somewhat of like a philosophical person. I feel like it'd be unfair if I put this too high. I'm gonna go B with it. I think that's fair. I think it's not particularly quotable. Nobody's out here saying the unexamined life is not worth living. If you look that up, it just wouldn't come up with anything besides obviously my quote. But I think it's good enough that I'm gonna respect myself, and I respected Bam, so you know, I just gotta put it in B. Next up we got Get Ready to Learn Chinese, buddy. No, okay, I don't think this is real. It's obviously not real, but it's just hilarious because this one I think is kind of hard to rank because it might be the funniest. I see this one quoted all the time, and also it gets quoted in different ways, like it's slightly altered. I said about Tyler Hero, like this was right before that he got traded for Giannis and all of that, like he was in the package. I was like, get ready to learn Milwaukee, buddy, which is just dumb because it's not a language. But other people do stuff like that too, or like get ready to learn Brooklyn, buddy. It's like you're gonna get sent off to the Nets or something like that. So I think this could be S tier, even though it's not real. I think in sure quotability and significance and how funny it is, I think S tier is fair. It's the perfect sentence. It's so funny. All right, next up we just got No Help. This one's hard to rank. I threw it in here because it lives in its own world where it's not actually a quote. It's just like a graphic. It's used all the time, but as the graphic. So it's not like a quote graphic, so I kind of want to dock it a little bit, but it's used all the time, so I think A is fair. It's used basically every single game that somebody carries somebody into a loss. This is another one that, though, you could use like playing a game. You could use it when you have a particularly amazing game, playing pickup or something. It's just it's a good graphic, but again, it's not technically a quote, so I do have to dock it a little bit. All right, next up we got Steve Kerr. These guys are coming. Everyone can feel it. Steve Kerr on the Oklahoma City Thunder. All right, so Steve, first you named your son Nick. Not even going to try to say his full name. Second, you're going and saying this. And then third, you're playing Brandon Pajensky. Just as like a discography, that's just not a good look. So I'm going to put this in F. Also, he's talking about OKC, which none of us like OKC. If you like OKC, what's wrong with you, bro? You can stay, though. You can be a part of the channel. You will get hated on. I was thinking of being mean, but I'm sparing you today. Next up, we got Send a Video. Anthony Edwards. Okay, this is another hard one because in terms of just how purely funny it is, this is an A or an S, but it's also like the context is actually kind of disturbing. So I think as a quote graphic, it's pretty good. I'm gonna go C. I don't know. I feel like this seems less consistent with how I've ranked everything. I just think that this one's quoted so much and used so much as like one of the funniest quote graphics, but it's also dealing with something kind of weird and crazy. I don't really want to get into it, so we're gonna just move on. All right, maybe I saved the best for last here. We got What Happened to the Game I Love. Mark Jackson. You could argue that this is the GOAT. I mean, to me, I Got One More in Me is probably my favorite. But again, I mean, just, it's so good. It's so quotable. People use it all the time. Like, what happened to the game I love? It could be any game. It could be your friend. Your friend just like switches up on you and you're like, what happened to the game I love? Actually, that doesn't really work. What am I talking about? I don't know. It's one of my favorites. What happened to the game I love? It's quoted all the time. All the time, everywhere. And it's quoted the saying and as the graphic. It's just everywhere. So yeah, this is our final ranking. Maybe I'll go through, okay, what's my favorite one? I think I Got One More in Me is my favorite, and then this, and then this, and then my least favorite. That's probably the worst. This is the worst. This is the best. If you made it this far in the video, comment some other like iconic quotes or whatever. They can be funny, they can be good. Maybe I'll make a part 2 if this does well. Maybe I'll do it regardless of if it does well. Also, I'm starting a new goal. I'm going to try to hit 10K subscribers by the end of 2026. Can I do it? I don't know. We're a little bit late into the year. Got a couple months. I feel like I have more motion now than I did when I started, so we'll see. But yeah, that's everything. Let me know what you guys think. Peace out.